So I get the privilege of teaching a lot of beginner golfers, and the latest boot camp that I had, we had issues with golf terms. 3 very simple golf terms that could sound quite strange to somebody who doesn't know golf, hasn't been around it, and actually could find them quite offensive if not used in the right context. So let's get started. Hi, I'm Coach Shayain. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Before we get started, hopefully you have already subscribed to my YouTube channel so I can make cool videos and also help you out with all things golf terms. So the 3 words that I had used without even, sometimes I'm teaching and I just assume people know, but you rein it in usually once they give you a weird face. And one of them was weight. I said on a putting drill that we were doing, I said, "Great weight, Kennedy." And she just kind of like looked at me and I was like, "Oh no, like that was good." And so let me help you understand what the terminology weight is when we're talking putting. A quick pause from the video you're currently watching. I just want to let you know, if you have not downloaded my free golf starter guide, you need to go and do that at coachshayain.com. The link is also below. It will really help you out if you're brand new to the sport. That's number 1. If you haven't joined my golf travel waitlist for 2026, I guarantee you will not want to miss out on these amazing destinations that we're going to in 2026. And videos are going to come out for me in Spain, Greece, Italy, and Japan. So if you want to know what golf looks like in any of those countries, you want to join that mail list for 2026. And if you have any questions, as always, I always tell you, get in the comments, ask me. And if you add me on Instagram, you can DM me your question as well. Thanks so much. Let's get back to your regular program. Okay, so I have this really cool disc that you will see pros using when you're out. If you're watching any professionals on tour, I got this last year when I was in Scotland, and it's the same size as a hole. So if you look, it's the same size as a hole. And so what ends up happening is when you see professionals putting, their caddies will throw these discs out in different parts of the green, and the players will putt towards it. So they're going to pretend like maybe on Sunday the pin placement might be up in this back corner, so the caddy will throw the disc. On day 2, the pin placement might be here, so they'll throw the disc around so the players can practice the different kinds of putts. So for example, I've thrown the disc over there, and I am Kennedy, for example. And Kennedy is a brand new golfer, so we were doing some pretty fun drills, and she was over top of the ball, and she hit her first putt, and that almost went in. But let's say that that wasn't my first putt, and I aimed it a little bit to the right, and my distance was really good, but my putt didn't go in the hole. So you would say great weight. It's like an encouraging way to say great putt instead of always saying great putt with the people that you're playing with. Now, if my putt is on the right line, but very short, you wouldn't say great weight, because that is implying that your distance was good, but your direction was off. Your distance was not good. So you would just say, oh, it's a bit short, or next time just needs more weight, right? So my first one had great weight and great direction. Second one had great weight, horrible direction. So weight in golf is the distance to the hole. So I'm going to miss this one again, and that technically would have gone in. So these examples, for some weird reason, are bad. Why don't I go left? Okay, so let's go left. So that would be considered great weight, so great distance. You're just a bit left of the hole. So number one golf term is weight. So not my physical weight, but the distance. And you would really only use that on the putting green. So that is golf term number 1. Number 2, which I even find sometimes quite offensive, is the word fat. And nobody ever in golf is talking about you, the way you look, or your body weight. They are talking golf terms. So what is it when someone says, oh, that was fat, or I hit it fat? Hitting it fat means when you are swinging your golf club, which, give me a second, let me change clubs. Decided to grab a wedge instead. So when you hit it fat, it means that you've hit the ground first and then the ball. What is a good way of showing you this so my back isn't towards you? Why don't I go like this? I'll throw this a little bit. Let's throw the disc, which is kind of fun. All right, hitting the ball fat. Technically, you want to hit the ball. Hitting it fat means you've hit it behind you and you've probably hit the ground and then your club is kind of dragged through it. Sometimes what happens when you're new to golf is your hips tend to go sideways in the wrong direction when you're chipping. So instead of keeping your hips pretty still, most of us like to turn our hips this way. So if I'm facing the camera, most of us like to turn our hips like this and think we need to turn our hips to get distance. So if this is my center, if I move my hips backwards, this becomes my center. Therefore, I end up hitting the ground first and then dragging my club to hit the ball. So that means you're hitting it fat. Hitting it fat meaning you're hitting the world, the globe, Earth first, and then your club is dragging through and you're hitting the ball. So we want to not hit it fat. Therefore, to prevent yourself from hitting it fat, try to pay attention to see if your hips go laterally in your backswing. See if your hips go like this. If they go like that, you're gonna hit it fat quite often. So try and keep the lower body more stable and just try and use your hands to give yourself a more clean shot. That is hitting it fat. So no salsa, girl. If you haven't watched that video, I will put in the description below, as well as at the very end of this video, you can watch the salsa girl, which is hips going side to side versus twisting, which is how we generate power in golf. So that is hitting it fat. Hitting it thin, also very common with beginners. When we hit it thin, you are essentially hitting the top half of the golf ball, and your golf ball is going low and it's shooting so fast. So that means you're hitting it thin, hitting the top half of the ball, topping it, which isn't one of the words we're talking about today, but I'll tell you anyways, which means the bottom of your golf club has hit the top of the ball and you've topped it, and your ball literally will go nowhere. So if you top it, it's kind of like you're here and it looks like that. Hitting it thin, you've got the top half and it just shoots like an absolute rocket. Let me try and show you one from here. I'm doing a quick series for all you brand new golfers out there. So if you haven't seen last week's video, I did one, how do you start in golf? If you have already started, but you know someone who's really scared or doesn't know where to start or how you get onto the golf course or just making a million excuses to come out here, make sure you send that video to them. I essentially show you from never having touched a golf club, how do you start in your house? How do you find a golf coach? And then how and what does it look like to get group lessons? And where do you start with all of that? So that is in the description below. Also at the end of this video, and I'm doing a series kind of launching off of that. We go from there, never having touched clubs, you learning the tips in your house. Now we're telling you a few golf terms you might have heard. Next week, I'm going to tell you about what are the clubs with yardages. So I did another YouTube video on that as I was at a charity golf tournament, and a girl literally looked at me at every shot and said, what club do I use? So I will tell you the 5 clubs that you need in your bag. I've already done that video, but what the yardages are that you should have in mind. And if you don't already have my printable copy that you can print out and write your yardages, make sure to hit the link below for that as well. Print it out, put it in your bag. It's your little cheat sheet that you can have wherever you are going. So hang on and make sure you watch the full series. I hope you guys really enjoy it. And as always, let me know in the comments if you want to know anything else within the whole starter series of golf. It is the most frustrating, I mean, they're all frustrating, but hitting it thin is just frustrating because you're so close. You're right here, you're so excited. And that was topping it. Let me see if I can do a thin one. And it just goes past everything. These are also horrible examples to show you guys because that actually hit the hole. So let me show you again. You're here, you're looking great, you're looking great. There we go. Wow, that one, good luck to that person. Whoa. So you're hitting the top half of the ball. How do we prevent that from happening? Because what's the point of learning the term without you understanding how do we prevent that? So common. You guys love to stand up in your swing. So you started nice and solid, nice and bent. You look like a golfer because you've watched all my videos about posture and stance and how you're supposed to look. So everyone starts like this. Then all of a sudden you get so excited. When you are in your backswing, you lock your knees, you stand up nice and tall. And now look, if I put my club back down, oh, well, I started with it on the ground, but now it's halfway up. So watch that again. I stand and start like an athlete. I look great. In my backswing, most of you like to stand up, lock your knees. The club has no choice on where to go but to catch the top half of that ball. If you zoom into that, I'll show you again. You started nice and low, started like an athlete. Backswing comes, you stand up tall, you lock your knees. So if I bring my club back to where we started, I have no choice, but it's gonna only clock the top half of the ball. So if you're going to stay bent, you need to stay bent throughout your swing, especially in your backswing and coming into contact. Once you hit the ball, then you can turn and stand up in your follow through. So what I like to tell my students when they come to me is, if you're starting in a squat, you have to make sure you hit the ball in your squat. So not locking your knees and standing tall. Therefore, you won't hit it thin. I really hope hitting it fat and hitting it thin now makes sense to you, along with what it means when someone says great weight. Not your physique, but it's your putting stroke and how far your ball has gone towards the hole, which is when they're saying great weight. If you have any questions about any three of these golf terms, let me know in the comments below. If there's any other terms that you're super confused with, also let me know. If I'm missing any that have to do with your body type, also let me know in the comments below. No one is attacking you personally. It's just the game. It's just words. Don't take it personally. And always remember, everyone sucks at golf. So we're just here to learn one day at a time. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.